Way, good evening, folks. Welcome to another episode of Smack, trademark Jim Clark.
Talking,
Talking smack, yes,
talking
definitely.
smack.
Talking smack, scale models, anything really. We try to keep it about the plastic or the 3D resin on here, but yeah. So anyway, good evening, Luke, Jim, John, Joffy, Barry, Brett, John Alec, and Zinzan. Nice to see you all. I haven't got anything really like subject-wise that I thought we could kick off with. But obviously, if anyone wants to ask us questions, please put them in the chat. If you put the word question or QQQ at the beginning, Mikey's behind the scenes there, and he will basically put up any questions so we can answer them to our knowledge. But, I received this today from, or yes, was it last week actually? But I've opened the box today. Ordered this M3. Well, let's catch me in the face. This M3 and M3A1 US half track 135th from Andy's Hobby Headquarters, and it's a one-in-one combo kit. So basically, you're getting two kits in the box. Now, really, it's all about price for me. These aren't cheap because obviously you're getting two kits, but they're cheap. If you bought them singly, it would probably cost a few more quid. But they've been and putting things as a combo pack is nothing new in scale modeling, but I seem to see a lot more of it happening in from the companies. And I just want to know what everybody else's take is on this. Is this a good idea? Is it something that you wait for the twin packs to come out before you order a certain kit? Or obviously FX have done them for years with the dogfight doubles or best of British or Edard do combo packs. Revell. I don't know if Revell do a double. I can't think that they do. Italeri have done in the past. But anyone got any take? I'll tell you what, Brett, as someone who sells these model kits, do you find they're a good seller if a company produces two kits in one and gets put out there for the sales?
If the price is right, the Edward limited edition dual combos sell really well.
Yeah.
Andy's stuff sells really well. I think this is the first 2-in-1 Andy's done, but it's already got lots of people wanting to buy it.
Yeah.
So if the value's there, yes.
I was just going to ask, I was just about to put in then, so you just said that is Andy's very popular? Because for me, living outside of the USA, and I know he's using Takom, is Andy becoming like the American Airfix then? They're looking at Andy to bring out the stuff that they want, and because he's American and he's investing in this, is there a little bit of I don't know what's the word, being supportive of being a homegrown brand in that way?
Well, he only does armor, usually only 16th scale armor, and it's all Takom kits with his name on them.
Right.
Oh, so they've been released by Takom before, have they?
Yeah, pretty much everything he does is with Takom with Andy's Hobby Headquarters name on it.
Right.
So they're popular, but they're all 16th scale, mainly, except for he's starting to do 35th. So Jim would know more because Jim lives near Andy.
Yeah. As far as him putting his name to Takom kits, I would argue that point. I know for a fact that he doesn't design them. They design them, but he puts his order in for what he wants. Right. They tool it. They send test shots. He okays it. So it's not like a product that Takom's already done. He tells them what he wants, and then they produce. And so and most, I mean, it is his idea. This is what he wants. They do it. He okays it, puts his name on it, and out it goes. And yeah, I do believe this twin pack is his first 35th scale kit. But when he started, to his credit, he saw a niche, and he's given credit to his business associate in Germany, and it's like, hey, just jump in and do it, and the first one that pays for the second one pays for the third, and then so on and so on, and off we go. So he saw an opening, and he wasn't below 10,000, so he took the shot. He might have broken a major rule engagement, but hey, he's well on his way.
Yeah.
So,
I support him in it.
Yeah, he's got a lot.
I haven't bought because I think this is the second kit I've bought of him. As you rightly say, he's 16th scale, and I don't want action. I don't want it to fit an Action Man figure. Do you know what I mean? I want it to. I'm being facetious, obviously, having a bit of a laugh here, but 1 to 16th scale, that's pretty huge. And yeah, I think 35th is the biggest I'm prepared to go with armor. And I don't think I'll ever build another 24th scale plane unless I do that Bearcat. That will be the last one I would do. But if he's found a niche, then why not? And I didn't realize. I thought that he had more say in how they bring out a kit than just reboxing plastic from time to time.
His main business is he's got a he's got a brick and mortar shop, which is big. He has a huge online shop. He's got this warehouse. He's done videos where he has gigantic trucks, lorries coming in and dumping off stuff. This his kits, his branded kits, that's got to be a really small part of his overall operation. He's got one of these online stores that has a gazillion things. I've never bought from him because comparatively his shipping is like twice what it is like pretty much everywhere else. That's the only reason why I've never actually bought anything from Andy's online store. Beyond that, I actually have zero desire to buy any of his kit. I see them as a small novelty in his overall operations. He just runs this store. He just these kits.
I think John, you're right on it. It was, hey, after so his brick and mortar store has closed, but he has the warehouse, and it's huge. And the back half's the warehouse, the front half is his shop, or is the shop. And it was like that was all up and running and going, and it was just I've always wanted, he's always wanted to do that, and so he jumped in, and I believe the first kit was the 4x4 utility vehicle. We can't say what it was because of licensing, whatever. But it wasn't I wouldn't say it was an afterthought. It was, again, one thing finances another. He was probably as successful, and this is just guess on my part, but he was successful enough in his business. He rolled more into it because he wanted to do a kit. Let's see how it goes. We'll do something small, and that niche, and it was 16th scale for him. He wanted to do something small but in a big scale, and then it just kind of went off from there, because to me has done big kits. Other companies have done big kits, more RC that can be RC, but that was, and it just like with any business, it's trial and error, and he jumped in, and he's had great success so far.
Apparently one of his did somebody say the M10 was a new tool by Andy's? Anyone can confirm that'd be good.
They all are.
Yeah, they all are. Like Jim said, Tackham does the mold.
Don't get confused that they're Reeboks.
They're not. He used Tackham to build the kit for him.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
So it's
So basically, it's like when Airfix went to Academy
yeah, that's what I was going
to
say.
get the ambulance, the KT ambulance produced. They own the tooling still, but it's in
It's in Korea.
Japan. I
No,
think, or
I
Korea,
think
innit?
the
Yeah.
dynamic, the way the deal works is different.
Okay.
So, and like Jim said, Andy's hobby headquarters or Andy will say, right, I want to produce an M4 Easy 8
Yeah.
in 16 scale. Tacom then design, build the tool, and produce the kit. He receives the test shots and then he tweaks it to his satisfaction before it's then released. So they're all brand new tools.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm getting a picture now. Yeah. Okay. The Tacom's name's on the
It would
box
be
anyway.
Moz. It would be like
Yeah.
you going to me and saying, "Hey, I want a 32nd scale F8F Bearcat. Make it for me."
Yeah.
Or any company, and then you throw your money in, and they do it for you, and then you get to stick Moz's models on the box and sell it.
Okay. Right. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, let's do
Because-
that.
I was just gonna
let's
say
do
that the
that.
idea was born.
An idea was born. But then I'm going to have the funds to actually buy those kits to sell in this country then, aren't I?
No, you're not buying the kits. You're financing the kits. You're putting the money up to design the kit, to cut the tools, to box them, to do everything. It's your money going in. You're paying them to produce your product.
Okay.
It's not like they produce it and then you buy them from them. No. You're putting the money up front for them to do all the research, all the development, all the tool cutting, everything that they do as a model company. Okay, you're contracting with them to produce that model. That's what Andy does. He contracts with that company to produce, this is what I want, and they do everything, and then he signs off, and then he gets all his kits in because he's already paid a lot of money to have this kit produced. And then, then he sells.
So, are we right in assuming that Tacom do not have the rights to release this kit under their own label either?
That would be my assumption. Because as far as I know, these kits are his kits.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. They're his property. The tools are his. Everything's his because he's paid for it.
Yeah. Interesting. But I was just saying, just looking online, there's a deal on at Jadlam, or you can look at your other local scale model shop or your preferred online scale model shop, but they've got them down for £54.95. Which, to be honest with you, I know the half track isn't as big as a tank. There's still a lot of plastic in that box for 54 quid or 55 quid, isn't it?
Yeah, and you're getting two of them.
Oh, it's
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So that's not a bad deal.
That's
No, it's not a bad deal at all.
This is his first 35th scale iteration, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
So if the quality of his 35th stuff is as good as 1/16 scale stuff, you're getting two high quality 35th scale kits, even if you're paying the 60 quid.
Yeah.
So for 30 quid each, essentially.
Yeah.
Well, that's not expensive.
No,
It's not, is it?
No.
If you look at your average 35th scale half track from most of the companies, you're probably pushing 30 quid anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I just put on pre-order the new Rifle Models Challenger 3, which is essentially their Challenger 2 kit with a few extras.
Yeah.
Basically. That's a 35th scale tank. That's £109.
There you go.
Yeah. And it's Rifle models as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So 30 quid for a half track is not expensive, is it?
No, I don't think so.
No,
No.
I must admit, I paid half that for a Rifle Challenger 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's the later version as well. So
Yeah, the TES.
the theatre entry standard or whatever it's called. But no, just a thought on this. this Andy's hobby headquarters kit, and call me a bluff old twat if you wish, but
You're a buffalo twat.
thank you. That's very kind. I shall remember your support and wear it always.
Yeah.
This it strikes me that actually, yes, it's a very nice price for 2 kits, but is it not really effectively 2 kits of exactly the same model?
No,
Would this not?
No,
have
it's
been-
not. No,
No.
they're
No?
different vehicles. They're very. I wouldn't say they're very, very different vehicles, but they are different. There's lots of detail that's different in the rear.
I mean, I can see that one has a winch on the front and one has a drum on the front, and they've both got wheels at the front and tracks at the back, that sort of thing. But my thinking on this was, why not combine it with a Sherman, for example? Maybe a Sherman Firefly and an M3.
Well,
I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for anyone else, but I like to build models almost in collections, if you like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the M3 half track family, because there's so many variants, the same as the Challenger 2. There's so
Yeah.
many variants, desertized, not desertized, etc. So to combine 2 members of the same family of vehicles in one box, I personally think it is quite a good idea.
Yeah.
And if people are wincing at the £60 or whatever, and they only want to build one of them, well, just get together with a mate, chuck 30 quid in each.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you're paying 30 quid for the kit you want. You split the sprues, photocopy the instructions. The instructions will be on scale mates anyway.
Yeah.
And then it's only cost you £30, doesn't it? And split it with a mate, assuming you have any friends.
Yeah.
I think most people who are members of an excellent model club like ISCA have some friends.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think, you'll be able to find someone who'll want to make an M3 half track. It's just the argument about which one you get to make, then, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah, because there will be people that have an interest in one or the other, or an overriding interest in one or the other.
I mean, you're right about the whole numerousness thing. There's something like 53,000 of these things made, in over a long period of time. So. Yeah, they're going to be lots of variants, and I imagine you can probably scratch build other variants.
I think it depends on your area of interest. So for me, am I really that bothered whether it's a Mark 5 or Mark 9 Spitfire? Not really. But for people that have an interest in aviation, they'll be able to tell me every single difference.
Yeah.
And they will build both. And
Yeah.
and I don't think armor is any different. It's just a different area. Whereas an aviation enthusiast would probably go, well, they look kind of the same. Well, I think the same about Spitfires, but they're not the same. They're completely different beasts,
Yeah, let's go down that politics. Thank you. We don't want Spitfire politics. But no, basically, the M3 is your standard half track, and then the M3A1 has the main machine gun mount. So I'm presuming that you could probably build 2 M3s out of it if you wanted to, or you just build, or you can, or one of them has to have the mounter. You get like a sprue for the gun mount.
Yeah, there'll be all sorts of variants. There'll be field ambulances, and there'll be so many. The M3 was used in Vietnam in certain variants.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
limited to Second World War.
He's got scope to release further, versions as well, because I did an M4 mortar carrier in the half track as well.
Yeah,
that is significantly
I
different.
think it's a good price, personally.
Yeah, I think.
I think it's a very good price. And of course, 54 quid, that includes your shipping as well. So, really, in hindsight, I suppose if you went to
£27.50 each with a mate.
Yeah.
But it's not a lot of money, is it, really, for a brand new tool 35th scale half track?
I've paid that money, Luke, for a 148 Tamiya
Yeah.
armor kit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know,
If not more.
yeah. The new Chaffee that's come out is around 34 quid, isn't it, from Tamiya?
Mhm.
And that doesn't come with any photo etch, and basically I think it comes with 2 schemes, and that's it. So I think it's a good price. Somebody wrote that they've been doing it for a while, Takum, and yeah, I get that because here you go, that's the comment I was looking at. MBK Germany also has a line of products of Takum. I don't think Takum, to my knowledge, I think Model Bow, whatever it is, MBK Germany, they rebox Takum kits under their own brand, and I think their brand is Das Werk. Quote
I was
me if
going to
I'm
say,
wrong.
isn't Das Werk part of Tacom?
Yeah, but I think
So-
I think that's what MBK release in, for the European market. So that's what I was under the impression of. And I know, Kinetic and Meng have all done it with Takum. I get that. It's, that's part and parcel of it. Remember, FX with all the tanks they released 5 or 6 years ago. That was off the back of the agreement they had with Academy to do their ambulance. Was they reboxed all of Academy's tanks that were not on the market at the time, especially not in Europe. And I think some manufacturers have the tooling, they prepare it, but it's easier for them to get the kit in this country under a certain brand than it would have been the other way around. And it's been like that for years. How many times have we've seen kits, Revell reboxing ICM kits, because ICM is very, and we know ICM obviously, but they haven't got the gravitas as what Revell have. I don't suppose ICM is really known in America, but Revell is. So it will be easy for ICM to do the boxes for them or do the plastic. Revell create a decal sheet and instructions under their colors, put it in their colored box, and ship it all around. So yeah, it does happen. It's not a bad thing, but I'm all for Andy for doing that, and also it probably gives Takum ideas as well on what they want to release in the future. Because if Andy's got his finger on the pulse, hasn't he? He knows what sells. So he's going to say, well, there's a hole in the market here for an M3, especially with an A1 with the machine gun mount on it. Takum are going, yeah, we'll have some of that. You invest in it, and we'll do it for you. So yeah, it's probably a win-win situation, as it's been said on here already on the comments.
Well, and Andy's prices for even the 16th scale are really good. He doesn't
Are they?
overcharge. Yeah, he does
Yeah.
not overcharge for the kits.
I'll have to give it a second look. Yeah, I'll have
Yeah.
to. I didn't realize he'd shut down his stores. I didn't realize that his model branding had become so big. So my impressions have changed based on
The
You
The
can still
only-
go shopping there.
Take a look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a
Well, all that happened with the shutdown of the little store was the original store that he started in the strip mall, and his lease was up, and he's got a big warehouse with a store in it now. So it's just like, well, it was kind of redundant, I believe, my assumption. But it's like, hey, the lease is up. He just decided it was time to shut that one down and just move everything over to the main store.
Yeah.
So his business, nothing really changes with his, nothing at all changes with his business.
You have to diversify to what works for you. There's I'll just put as an example. There's a chap who owned a pub to sell food in. The pub was losing him money. So what did he do? He got rid of the pub, and now he's got an industrial unit and Uber Eats everywhere. Like, he gets people turn up on their bikes to go and deliver the food. So, one part of the business isn't making money, so you diversify. If he's got the storage, I bet it's easier for him to do all the packing at the same place as well and ship all this stuff out. Richard's just said then that MBK does the Andy trick as Das Werk via Takum. Yeah, I understand that. And Das Werk is only connected to MBK as their special brand. Interesting. Frogs used to do Hasegawa kits. Well, yeah, there was a story behind that as well. There's a story behind that. they went to Academy, and that's where if you ever heard of the brand Mini Art, was it
Yeah.
no Mini Craft?
That's right.
They were importers of model kits, and so they used to. And if you see like a Mini Craft Academy or Mini Craft Frog kit, that was the manufacturer. And I know that Frog and Academy have very close ties, but the Academy Wildcat was a complete rip-off from the Frog one, right the way down to, I know you can only design so many Wildcats, but that F4 from Academy, if you put the two tool sprues together, I think the seat's in the wrong place and there's something else in the wrong place from the cockpit, but it's pound for pound a mirror. So they robbed that from Frog. Yeah, that happens.
Well, Airfix did it to Aurora with the BTK Spitfire, just changed the scale. The decal's the same, the parts count the same.
It was the same with the Israeli company. What were they called?
Starfix.
No, the Starfix. Yes. Starfix.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did it with the 10. Well, the 109E is so bad it's actually using a 109G fuselage.
Yeah. Hobby 2000 does everyone's kits, but they don't just rebox it; they add stuff to it, don't they? You don't just buy a Hobby 2000 kit with just plastic in it. They do what Edard do; they add their own aftermarket to it, I believe.
They do a
So-
lot of Toyota kits as well now, don't they? Hobby 2000.
I don't know.
They rebox a lot of Toyota kits. There's a lot of their
Yeah.
kits, old Toyota kits, which
Well,
were
a lot of Asagawa.
yeah.
But yeah, as I said, if Andy's bringing this stuff out, and if this is very first 135th, he probably had been over that with a fine tooth comb to make sure that it is spot on for everyone. And don't get me wrong, I think is it Paul? I think from Australia, he's been constantly building 1/16th Andy Hobby's headquarters kits, and he bloody loves them. He absolutely loves them. And you can go to Bovington and go to their model shop there, or if you go to like Tank Fest and they have their tent outside, they have these Andy Hobby headquarters kits all over the shop there. They've heavily invested in them to sell at the Tank Museum. So, but yeah, it's as I said, I've got it here. I will do an unboxing of it at some point. I've also got the new Revell. What is it again? The 750S, the McLaren. Is it McLaren?
Oh,
Yeah, that comes. So I'm going to do a review on that as well. But what I saw at Avon, it's a bloody lovely kit. To be fair, really nice kit. So fair play. And I think Hella have announced stuff today. I'll have a look at the emails in a minute. They're releasing stuff today, I believe. So we'll have a look at that. Fastwork have released stuff in cooperation with Amusing Hobby. I've not had a look at any Amusing Hobby kits. Anyone got any take on them? I presume they're a Korean company or a Chinese company. Well, it's got to be a Chinese company. It's got another crap name as a model kit. Like,
I've never even heard of them.
They're
no,
yeah, they're okay.
Built one.
Brett, have you sold any Amusing Hobby stuff?
No, they're not easy to get over here.
No.
You have to do a big order to get them in.
Yeah. What a big order is it? I suppose you have to get a container for, I suppose, of kits. Some of these people don't.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that big, but it's big, more than I would want to bring in. I have heard of them.
I've heard of them, but I've never built any of Amusing Hobby stuff. I don't think I've even bought it. So there is a difference between Reebox reedition on order and a commission molding like Andy is doing. So Andy's commissioning the build, commissioning the tooling, and then Takum are doing I shouldn't say all the work, but they are doing all the work.
Yeah, they are
But
doing
there's
all
no
the
difference.
the design.
Yeah.
I think Andy comes up with the ideas and
Okay.
checks the design and builds the test.
And the cash.
And the most important part, the cash.
Yeah.
No, Amusing Hobby is Japanese, is it? Ah, and Amusing Hobby have re-released a Centurion. Oh, that'll be interesting. Hobby Time said he has built the Amusing Hobby E100 tank. It was a great kit, so that might be an interesting company to look at. Then, as I said, I've not had one, so I think they're relatively new. Like with Neverland Models, that's a newish company that's come out, done a couple of
What an
boats and
odd
bits and
name.
pieces. Yeah,
That's the kit I built, was their E100, and everything except for the tracks were great. I mean, it was fine. It was a big, impressive kit. The tracks were awful to put together, but yeah.
yeah. Yeah, interesting. I really like Amazon's, especially their T72 and so you do quite a lot of armor then, do they? Amusing Hobby, it looks like, and they've done a T72 and a Ferdinand's. Why have I not seen these for sale? Are they not available in this country then? Amusing Hobby?
I think you can get them through people like Jumblies and various other places. They are available, but I don't think it's widely known. I've heard of them, but I'm not really anyone to speak about them. To be honest with you, I don't know enough about them.
Yeah.
Apart from the name
Apparently-
seems stupid. Sorry, but it's a bit reaction.
Amusing Hobby have released a total of 102 different kits. Looks like I'm gonna have to go look into them then. 'cause like I said, yeah,
That's a lot.
that's
Yeah,
a lot.
looks like Andy, it looks like Andy carries a lot of Amusing Hobby stuff. Well, he sold out of
Yeah.
a lot of it.
Yeah. Chad them, stock them. Yeah, I've just never. I've seen them, but I've never really gone out there. But then again, it's like, we were talking at the model show about Dragon and what Zemi are going to do with Dragon in the future. Because am I right in saying that Dragon are very hit and miss? If you bought a Dragon kit, they would be very hit and miss on how they would go together.
I think
But
their older stuff's not as good as the newer stuff. That's what I was told by our guy. So.
And now you've got Zemi Models, and I didn't even hear of Zemi Models either. And now they've taken over another thing called, is it Model Collect? I think it's called as well. Another company I've never really heard of. It's like I've been in this bubble, and now I've kind of reborn. I'm like seeing all this new stuff. I've been blinded.
Model Collective does some beautiful B-52 kits.
Do they?
72nd scale.
Okay.
Like I'm pretty sure the whole range from B-52 A to G.
Really?
Yep.
I'm just looking. I've just received an email from Hella. I'll see what they've got coming through in a minute. As dragons have always been good to build, I've built a lot of them. It's the instructions. Yeah. Model Collect, you need to speak to Nigel about them. Where are you, Nigel? You coming on, mate? Or are you drinking Foster's in the back of your... Oh, no, it's not Foster's, is it? It's Coors in the back of your Fiat. Yeah, in kits, it's the instructions that are a pain. Amusing Hobby make the ME262 HG3 versions. Yeah. Lovely kits. Where have I been? Wow.
They do a few normal aircraft as well, but they're predominantly armor.
Okay. Model Collected 72nd only, I think, but very high quality.
Yes.
I have the Model Collect FW1000. It looks decent enough, though. The pilot would need to be 10 foot tall to reach the pedals. Okay, fair enough. And I've always heard that Dragon were also good for the spares box. Well, Dragon are now step back. I think they'll be into developing 3D printed stuff. All their tooling has been, yeah. I knew you were going to bite on that, Luke, but you can't deny it, can you? If they think there's a market there, they're going to go for it. Look at You go on Scalemates. I go on Scalemates every morning. It's part of my ritual, right? I go on to certain websites, have a little nose. Not so much on one other, but I do on Scalemates just to see what's being released. And I reckon 90% of the kits that are being released now are ordered 3D printed.
Yeah.
It's just, it's really hard to go through Scalemates now and see a kit that's made of styrene. And but the thing which I've said though, people may be a bit dissy with me when I say this, a lot of these kits that have been put on Scalemates, you can't buy physically. You have to buy the file and then print it yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and does that make you a company?
Absolutely. You're still selling a product. It's just a digital product.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a digital product. That's right.
But does that really? Yeah. But there's so many names, like, you know, and you go on there. There's all these new brands, and you're going through them one by one to see, trying to find the styrene to do my monthly reviews, like, and it's really hard. It really is hard to find plastic in them now. You go, oh, that looks like a nice kit. Go in there, look at the box art. There you go, 3D print.
I wish Scalemates would put a code on the product to tell you whether it's 3D print, styrene, or whatever. I wish they would, because it would save a lot of time and effort, wouldn't it?
I think it would, if you could, you know. But then again, you know, where would you put the Eduard hybrid kits then?
Well, you would have two codes.
No codes coming out of Yang.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a styrene kit, just say STY. If it's a 3D print, say put 3DP, and then just put forward slash.
I mean, we've talked about it so many times, haven't we?
Yeah,
it is just the next evolution to the hobby.
Of course it is.
It is. Yeah. It is.
I mean, I personally...
there's so many websites. So many websites out there now. So, for example, I don't know, Loop Studios, there's a classic. So you pay a monthly subscription. I think it's about £9 a month. And all these STL files pre-supported that you can print at home are all on there. You search for what you want. There's over 100,000 different files. Decide what you want. You pay your subscription, and they send you the file. You print it, build it, paint it. Done.
Jobs are good, and
move on to the next one.
Yeah,
a bit like amusing.
I've seen something for you, Zinzan. I've seen it for you. I think I'm going to buy it and send it to you.
No. Well, it sounds it's very generous of you, I will say.
It's an aircraft.
Is it by Thunder?
Yes, it's. I think it's a biplane.
Don't make it a surprise. Then make it a surprise, and then I'll do a little show.
But it's 3D printed.
Well, there we are. No, I've done some 3D.
I think it will be right up your Strasser.
Up my Strasser, eh? You know, I was just looking at this amusing hobby thing. Someone said they were 102 kits. They've only been trading 16 years.
Yeah.
They've hardly been going any time at all. That is busy. That's about 6 kits a year.
Yeah, but it's not 102 physical different tools. It's actually quite a lot of them are re-released.
Are they?
There's probably about 80 kits, I would say, that are tall. Which is still quite a lot of models for the time.
I mean, yeah, even so, you know, I mean,
it just proves to me that a company, let's be honest, a company is only known by its marketing then.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's, if I, you know, I've seen Amusing Hobby, but I thought they were like a new fandangled thing from the last 2 or 3 years. I didn't know they were going for 16 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did a quick search on the local internet, and it's owned by a fellow called Huang Kai, who was a He left a career in banking to enter the scale modelling industry. You know, so what can you say? He was always interested in it and decided to do it for himself.
How foolish!
Well, I suspect that he has two things by this time. One will be enough money to be able to indulge his passion, and the second will be a business that's probably not doing too badly, all things considered. Thanks very much, you know, and so he won't need to think too much about where his next bottle of sake is coming from.
You'll probably walk into a bottle shop in Japan and they'll be everywhere.
Yeah.
That's probably the case, I would say, because these things are always strong in their home markets, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, we tend to selfishly think that, you know, the American market, the British market, the European market are the driving factors, and we are just a microscopic speck on the whole scale of modeling as modeling goes. It's Asia, it's Eastern Europeans. I mean, because that's where all the manufacturers are, and they're catering to their, you know, we just get the crumbs that fall, you know, and hope that for the most part, you know, granted there's outliers like Coteri or, you know, maybe say even Andes, but I mean, in the main, it's the Eastern market, the Far East. That's what drives this hobby.
Yeah, I've been of the opinion that scale modelling is, forgive me, don't flame me for this, but it's a niche interest for quite a lot of the manufacturers that operate in, you know, a injection molded plastic marketplace. I think one only has to look a little bit at Tamiya's home website to see this, the Japanese website. I can't read any of the writing, obviously, but you can get a picture of what's going on there simply by having a look at what they have there. And yes, there's scale models that you and I would be thinking, oh yeah, I could build that, but there's quite a lot of stuff which no, you probably wouldn't. So yeah, I think it is, and I think that's why a lot of these kit manufacturers are, shall we say, somewhat vulnerable, because you're not producing all that many kits by comparison. Your margins probably get squeezed, and all sorts of difficult things happen, you know, if you get the wrong people in, for example. We'll see. Definitely. Yeah. Still, I'm waiting for what the mighty Mr. Rifle's going to send me now. Yeah, definitely.
Wizards of Warcraft in a plane. Oh my god!
Oh,
I
Yes.
knew you weren't going to let me forget that one.
Oh, Wizards of Warcraft! I fell out of my chair when I heard that on the replay.
Yeah, that was funny, that wasn't it?
That was.
Yeah. I fear I'm not going to be allowed to forget that, so that's good. That's good. Well done.
Yeah. Anthony saying here that he's bought some Dragon Zemi models off AliExpress. They are called Drami.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether that's tongue in cheek or whether that's true or not.
That I had heard that too.
Yeah, that's the new company name.
Yeah.
That's the new company name, Drami, is it?
Yeah.
See, I don't really use Temu because I'm scared of, you know, I'm with Luke on this when it comes to, you know, there's been, you know, I see a lot of people buy resin stuff from Temu, and you know it's been cloned off websites and that. So it's, what do you call it again, Luke? There's a word you used. Not the authentic. Yeah, no, there's a word you used on last week. You used it about you don't buy them off Temu because of the not royalty. There's a word you use,
like the provenance of it.
The provenance, that's the word. And when you see things like this on, and it sounds a bit, but like Temu, AliExpress, and that, it's the provenance that worries me about it all. I stand with you on that, Luke.
I think, firstly, you're always going to have a question mark until it actually arrives in your hand. You're always going to have a question mark around the quality of the product, because these things are mass produced. Whereas if you go, I don't know, take a 35th scale figure. But if you go to the likes of Def Model, etc., you know that when that figure arrives, it's going to be extremely high quality. It's going to be very, very detailed. If you then buy a very similar figure from AliExpress at a quarter, probably less of the price, you're always going to have that question mark around the quality of the product that's going to arrive on your doorstep. And secondly, for me, and it is a personal decision, I don't buy anything counterfeit because it takes away from the original manufacturer, artist, etc. And if you keep taking away because you want a cheap one, sooner or later they're going to stop making them.
Yeah,
because there'll be no income for them, you know. And why would someone, particularly with, you know, sculptors making figures, etc., and they do a limited run of 500 figures or 250 figures, and then some unscrupulous individual recasts them and bangs out 5,000 of them on AliExpress or Temu, well, there'll come a point where that original artist will go, well, I'm not going to waste my time because I'm not receiving any of the money, any of the income, and they're just churning out crap that in my name. So, like, why would you do that? And then they'll stop doing it, and then we'll all be devastated that we can't get this stuff, you know. And so for me, it's about supporting the original artist, really.
I see that point, Luke. I think the only way that these people are going to survive, and throw it back at me if you think I'm being wrong, is to actually say we will not allow our CAD and whatever it is that they use to be available to purchase digitally. We will own the rights to that image, like a tooling, and you can buy the product made from us.
Yeah,
and that would be the only way they could keep it in house, I guess, in that way.
But the counterfeit industry across all marketplaces is huge.
Yeah.
So there will always be someone or a group of individuals out there that can copy something. Is it going to be as good? No. But you can't. I mean, I could go to Def Model and place an order for a 35th scale figure, for example. Then someone with the know-how, such as Nigel, could take that figure, make a mold, and recast it thousands and thousands of times, and sell them at £2.50 each on AliExpress or Temu or Etsy or wherever. It's not going to be as good as the original one.
No.
And the more they produce, the less good it's going to be.
Yeah.
But it's almost an impossible thing to stop, whether that's, you know, a proper, I say proper, a traditional resin sculpt, or it's been sculpted on CAD or whatever. It's almost an impossible thing. But I think we have a responsibility as the consumers within the community.
Yeah.
I mean, like, love them or hate them, Games Workshop are really good at that stuff because there's so many millions of files out there to produce Warhammer-esque figures at home on your 3D printer. But if you go to an official Games Workshop tournament or competition, painting competition, whatever it may be, they inspect every single figure.
Yeah.
And if one is found to be counterfeit or has what we would term aftermarket added to it that isn't Citadel, it's not an original product, then you'd be disqualified immediately. So they're pretty hot on that sort of stuff. But that doesn't mean that there's not thousands and thousands of people that aren't going to tournaments. They're still printing this stuff out. You're never going to stop it, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like those dodgy Fire Sticks, isn't it?
Yeah.
That everyone's got, so they can watch, content for free, basically.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, I haven't got one, but that's great because you're getting it for free. But eventually, if everyone was doing that, how are these companies that are producing this content going to make any money?
Yeah.
Right. So
And then they'll stop producing the content, and then you'll have no content.
Yeah.
Or you'll have massive inferior quality content.
See, I'm in two minds. But you're right in what you're saying. Like, say in a minute, you just wait. If you've got an old Fire Stick, an older one, if you've got not one that's been cracked or anything, if you've got an older one, they're going to be worth a lot of money soon because Amazon have now basically said you can't crack them. They come as they are, boom. So the older ones you can still crack. But I always remember I was reading Steve Jobs' biography and one of his books about his life. And he said that people are willing to pay for music. The reason people were downloading from Netscape,
Napster.
whatever it was, Napster, that's the one, Napster, was because it was very difficult to buy it digitally, and people are willing, as long as you pay for it, as long as the price was right. And unfortunately, the likes of Sky, because it's so expensive, it has forced people to use Fire Sticks to watch the Formula One and football and everything. So, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
It will always come down to personal choice. For me, my personal choice is I don't buy anything counterfeit. I don't watch any counterfeit content. Nothing. It's all original. Does that mean sometimes I will miss out? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'd rather miss out and the original artist get what they deserve rather than, I've got 15 figures on this diorama and I only paid £1 each for them. Yeah, but they look shit. It is what it is.
It is. Yeah, I think you're right. But that's what I was just going to get at is that if these companies design this stuff, I would rather buy a figure than print it myself at the moment because it's, I've got 3 3D printers that are collecting dust. If they're any bigger, they would have become clothes horses by the radiator by now.
There is a skill to it. It's not plug and play.
Yeah, it's not plug and play at all. It will be one day, but I would rather pay a company 15 to 20 quid for a bust or a figure than go through the pain of buying setting up the printer, resin print, But that's me. I know people that would think that a 3D printed resin figure at 20 quid or 15 quid too expensive. But then you would think competition wise, that price will fall down soon because the technology is getting easier.
Yeah.
Resin will get cheaper in the end. It's not so much now. And that you'll be able to pick up from your local model shop or whatever printed figures for around about the £7 to £10 mark. That would be the answer. But when we had Dave on here from 3D Gizmo, he said clearly that all of his designs is all off grid now, all off grid, and he protects his brand by only selling physical product. So when you buy one off him, you know that he's paid for the design, he's manufactured it, he's got the equipment, the resin. Him and his wife, it's a 2-employee team, and they produce really good stuff. I don't think well, fair play to them, but that's how they've decided to protect their own IP, is to only produce and make stuff that's for them. You know, that
I don't think the 3D Gizmo stuff is all that expensive. Having seen it on Sunday, it's bloody good.
Yeah, it's not expensive. Not when you consider the skill and the know-how that's gone into the product. I don't think it's expensive at all.
No, but my point was, we're trying to get to the point was, is that it will come to a level that you'll be prepared to pay for it, like music. You know, music, was it $1.20 back in the day? You know, that was they found the right limit to buy, and a lot of us would rather buy the product off those people who have done it than just buy a digital file and print it ourselves and having to do the clean up and everything else.
But,
I
think you will always encounter people that will counterfeit and copy stuff. You will always get that. You get it in every single industry.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be car parts, phones, sunglasses, models, figures, whatever. There's always a big counterfeit market. Clothing, handbags, suitcases. There's, you know, you want to buy a Louis Vuitton handbag.
Yeah,
that's going to cost you $5,000. But there are many counterfeits out there. But you put them next to each other, you can tell the difference.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
So it is what it is. It's a personal choice, and unfortunately, I mean, a classic one that springs to mind is, you know, these Book Nook type kits.
Yeah.
These, like, laser cut wood kits. Well, there's a company, I think they're called Row Life, that make, you know, high quality Book Nook type stuff, but they're quite expensive. But then you go on to Etsy or AliExpress or wherever, you can find thousands and thousands of this style of kit.
Yeah,
much cheaper than Row Life, because as long as someone's got a laser cutter and a bit of know-how, they can pretty much produce them and sell them cheap, and they'll make a profit. Of course they will. But you put them next to each other, then you're gonna, you probably be able to tell the difference between the genuine article, and essentially the counterfeit one.
Yeah. I just want to quickly clarify. I wasn't saying that 3D Gizmo will sell it cheaper. I'm just saying, as a whole, there are companies out there. I'm just making sure the comments here that at the moment to do 3D printing is an expensive exercise, and the product result, you know, it resonates that. But you tell me that, see this figure here from 3D Gizmo that I've started painting and playing with, having really good fun with it. That's £16. It's a subscriber thing. That's £16. It's absolutely brilliant value for money. And but then, like I said, it's a fresh technology, and I buy from 3D Gizmo because it's good stuff. It isn't, you know, my diorama bases that I use, I buy from 3D Gizmo, and there's other companies out there as well that are producing high-end, good quality prints. So yeah, and I wasn't saying that they will get cheaper. I'm just saying that at the moment the actual everything's expensive in 3D printing, resin, you know, but it will come to a point where it will find its price point. Probably has on some of it, but I've seen some people charging the earth for certain things on eBay and stuff that you're thinking that can't be worth that much, surely. But you know, if you want it, you'll pay for it.
Yeah, it's worth what it's worth to the consumer.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
If I may, real quick, to segue back to Moz, you were talking about 3D printing, and you know, it is an art of itself, learning how to use these printers properly. My son has one. He's printed one thing out for me, and we had moderate success. Anyway, be that as it may, there is and I'll spell this. There's a YouTube channel out there called Lychee, Lychee, and this company, I believe, produces slicing software. But it's an American guy, but living over in France, and apparently he will take you through the whole process of calibrating your printer, giving you tips on how to print, where to place supports, and takes you, I guess, through their software. I don't know. I have yet to watch it.
Yeah, Lychee is also a software for supporting 3D files.
Right. So if you've got, like, I've got Shido Box or whatever, I would think some of the same principles would be applicable. But for those newbies out there, like I would guess Moz would be, I don't know how much he's printed, but and to Luke's point, going off on the Colts 3D, there's a bunch of stuff out there like, wow, that's cool, and you buy it and you print it, and then it's a glob of goo, and you're like, well, what the heck? Well, it's not their fault. It's not the printer's fault. It's your fault for not setting everything up. And from what I've heard, this is the guy to watch.
The old school sort of comparison would be, I guess, you buy a styrene model kit, you look at the box art, and the box art looks amazing. It's really well constructed, it's really well painted, and you end up with a melted welly. Well, that's user error. It's not the kit's fault, is it?
No.
And this is just the more modern equivalent of that, I guess.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe I'm slow to the party here with this guy, but I had just found out about him and thought I bookmarked it, and I had yet to start looking. I'm almost afraid to, but for the rabbit hole that I could fall down into. But just throwing it out there.
Yeah. Why's my phone going off for?
Going back to an earlier question.
You have to put your barbecue on.
Yeah. Going back to an earlier question, somebody asked about the Hunt the Bismarck set. It's 1970s tooling. I think it's 1/1200 scale. Probably good enough for tabletop gaming, but not much else. Wouldn't even thick rubber bands at it. There's HMS Hood, Bismarck, couple of tribal class destroyers, and the Ark Royal off the top of the head.
In 1200 scale from 1970.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that would be very good, wouldn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, well,
it might not look like the Bismarck.
Well, even the 1/600 scale ain't all that accurate.
So you're talking about this kit here?
Yeah,
I've got one.
Oh!
Of course you do.
I've got one. Of course I have. We used to have a saying when there was a rough estate. You can. Is it like was the old saying is you can take the boy out of the council estate, but you can't take the council estate out of the boy. Have you ever heard that saying before?
We have something similar.
Yeah, and it's like you can take me from one thing, but you can't take him out. You know what I mean? And so obviously, yeah. I think, to be fair, I think you get the whole caboodle, don't you? You get like six kits in one, isn't it, or something? You get the Ark Royal, the Bismarck, the Suffolk, the Hood, the Prince Eugène, and you get 2 tribal class destroyers. So you get 7 kits. 56, 44, 42, 20 parts per model roughly. Comes with the paints that you need, comes with the glue. And I believe it is what it is. This was announced years ago, but they never went through with it. So, but inside you get a board to put all your boats on, so or your ships, I should say, with a timeline, with a map and everything. So they thought about that. They have given you added. There's your bags of paints and everything. I've gone on full screen actually. That might help. As soon as you ask so nicely. Instructions. You get, I think you get a few decals there. Call outs for the boats, but yeah, the 1 to 1200, so they're going to be tiny anyway. And basically, yeah, so building it simple enough. You get 2 steps to build the Tribal Destroyer. There's only 20 bits for that one. Yeah, so that's the instructions, and then the box is bigger than the actual kits. Well, that's standard, isn't it, for FX? And you get loads of bags of different kits for what they are, for what it's worth. And I think it's, was it $29.99 for the kit? You know, so it depends what you want to do with it, I suppose. It could be, it is a gift set, so you know it's classed as a gift set. There's your little what are they called again? Your tribal class destroyers. You get 2 lots of them. So yeah, you know, that's Bismarck in it. Bismarck, HMS Suffolk. So there's only a couple of sprues on each one. There's HMS Ark Royal, which will probably be a bit of a mission to build, and then there's the hood as well. So they are what they are. And then there's your tribal, Prince Eugene tribal. So we've only got 1 tribal, unless they put 2 in. Oh, no, they put 2 in. That's why there's 2 tribals. What are they called again? Yeah, tribal class destroyers. So they are Airfix toolings. So they basically bundled all of them together to create this gift set. That's what's in there. So I said I wasn't going to do a review on this. So yeah.
Don't.
What do you want to get out of the kit is the question. They've given you everything here. You've got your decal sheet, you've got your instructions, and they've given you a little cardboard diorama base where you put all your ships in with a timeline. So, you know, they thought about it. So fair play. I'll see how many they, you know, I haven't seen any adverts. I don't think you can do anything sexual with a Sink the Bismarck kit, can you, for an advert?
Oh, Siemens.
I'm sure they can try. I'm sure they can try.
Yeah.
Well, they're all water lines. There ain't much to sink.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steeman.
Yeah, back in the day, they're all sold separately.
Yeah.
Yeah, the segments. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're really old. 50-year-old.
Yeah. 1970s.
I was going to say, are they 60s, early 60s, mid 60s kits? Mid
70s.
The tribals originally were released on the card kits, you know, the 4D style kits, around about 1974.
Or blister packs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There was 2 of them even then.
Yeah.
There was always were 2.
And all the other kits were sold as Series 2 kits.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, they were designed for the shilling, weren't they? They were designed for the 2 bob, whatever it was, weren't they? So
well, that's not the first time Airfix, as in Hornby Productions, have released that kit as an all-in-one gift set. Because they did it in, I would say, about 2010, I would say, something like that.
Sounds about right.
Are you sure? I thought they were going to do it, and they never did it. And they finally got it into the box.
Let's check up on the scale, mate, because I'll get the date release for you.
I'm just looking now. Actually, that box there is £22.49. That's the cheapest I've seen there. £22. So what are you going to get for £22? Where's Scale Mates 2? Take the Bismarck kit set.
2012 they were sold.
Was it that long ago? Was it?
That was when they were released, 2012.
So they originally did it in 1974, and then they did it in 2012. And did they release it in 2012 though?
It was released in 2012, yeah, because I can remember the box. It's an images of all the kits, all the ships made up on the box.
Okay. I thought there was some like nuance that they never actually released it, and it was like put so.
The original
was a little bit like
released the separate kits. Yeah.
Oh, Nigel's in. Hi, Nigel. Here's a link. I sent you a link if you want to pop in. Okay, so there's that one. 22 too much for my PMOs. It's a gift set. You're getting 6 models, 7 models in it. Your paints, your cement, decal sheet, instructions. Yeah, maybe it is a bit too much. But
you like ships, Jim? Do you want me to get you one?
yeah. Hey, we could do a group build. I'll send each one of you a bit of the kit, then you can send it back to me built, and then I can put it on the board. Fair enough. Yeah, it is a bit. Yeah. Well, there you are. That's that one. I thought I had a press release here for Revell. I'll look for it in a minute, but I do have a press release here from the first one from Dale, actually, from Hella. He's got a press release out. So they've announced they're going to be releasing again the, I don't know how you say it. Is it the Furgonet? Is that how you say it? The Furgonet?
Probably not.
Just say Renault.
How do you say it then?
I would say Fourgonet.
Furgonet?
Forganet.
Furganet.
That's
basically it's 150 bits, this kit, believe it or not. It's a 1/24 scale Renault 4, so it's the van. But what interests me was the decal sheet. Can I make this bigger? Can I go in and make it bigger? What if I can? No, I can't. Can I go bigger? No, I can't go bigger. But they've gone in with they've got like Bosch on the side with a really nice decal sheet. Have I got the decal sheet on here? Okay, so I've got it or not? It's on the box, isn't it? But I can't suppose you can see it. It's too small, isn't it? But they've got like the Bosch spark plugs on the side, yeah. So you can do Renault service vehicle, or you can do like a Bosch scheme on it as well. But yeah, so this, I think this is his first foray into new products. So fair play to him on this one. 2000, it's a 2005 release apparently. So it's only 2025 release. So which is good. I'm trying to find the box art again. Where's the box art? It's down here. It's on the box art. Does it? Yeah, 2025 release. So yeah, it's a new tooling from them, but they've done it. And if we've everyone I've spoken to that's built their Peugeot 205 have thoroughly enjoyed it. So available from all local model shops for around about the £30 mark. If you can buy it as a model set that comes with the paints, the glues, and everything for a £5 or more, roughly. That's what they're saying on this press release. But yeah, so that's his first one, which I thought was there's many more to come. Hopefully, Dale, in the future, that'd be really good from him. And there'll be four. How do you say that? Fourgonet. Fourgonet. You know, you see Fourgonet.
Like a local.
Like a local. Yeah.
Also, so there's any words.
It sounds like a drunken man from Teesside trying to say fucking ace. Fourgonet.
I wonder if that one will be wrapped in
around the tree.
No, around the tree. Not around the tree. But if that will come with that paper that got around it. When I first unwrapped that VBCI, I didn't put it in the video, but I actually said in the video, when I was doing the editing, when I was filming it, unwrapping the paper, the black paper, I had the feeling like my wife ordering something from a Naughty Knicker website, and there isn't much of a secret, and she opens up a lingerie and it's all like all this paper and everything, it's all tissue. But it didn't smell of anything. It smelled of plastic. So yeah. Your mother smells
Great
of
relief
elderberry.
to us all.
Yeah, built the Hella Trawler back in the 1980s. Yeah, I think there are kits that Hella have done in the past which are very, very good. Like I said, I was quite shocked. If you want to go and watch the video of that VBCI, it's sub-assemblies. And you're thinking, I didn't think Hella were into I thought sub-assemblies was something relatively new. But that kit was from 2015, and they were doing a sub-assembly on that. So you build the hull and and the chassis and everything first, and then you do the internals, where the driver sits and the cab and then the back, and then that just slots inside. It's very, very well thought out design, that VBCI. The next one I'm doing is the Sherman tank, the 172nd Sherman, because everyone I've spoken to, and I spoke to a few this weekend as well, and I said, we're talking about armor, and I said, have you ever built that Hella Sherman? And every single one of them gave it praise. It's accurate, goes together well. And if you speak to Nomad, he'll tell you straight it was the best. He reckons it's the best Sherman, and you can do so much more with it. It's a standard kit, but it's really easy to change it into whatever you want with it, really, for that Sherman. So yeah. Interesting.
Scale. I can't change it to a 35th scale one.
No, you can't. No. I don't know if you could plant it and water it with IPA. It may stretch it.
If it grows.
It will grow. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure India Pale Ale is going to help you there, is it?
No, it isn't. Yeah, India. That was you, wasn't it? What's IPA? Isopropyl alcohol. I get it all the time. I say IPA and in the comments, Indian Pale Ale. What's all that? No, isopropyl alcohol. Yeah, big long decal down the side. Yeah. So I had one from Revell and I can't find it. I will find it in a minute though. But yeah, go and check them out. I know I spoke to a few shops, and people who sell model kits, and they said they're going to try and get more Hella in. So that'll be good. And there are plans for Hella in this country as well as Revell. I'm going to name drop now, but I watched Alex's video about Revell and the Harrier, and they are doing it right. I think Luke's doing with that Harrier, with all the updates. I think that's the way to go now for a scale model manufacturer. I actually enjoy watching what the designers are coming up with, what Luke's been doing about this Project Harrier. Anyone got any other take on that? Because I think what they're doing is fun. When I get an email and I see, Luke sent me an email, the next video's out this week about Project Harrier. Once a month, a big update and what Chris is doing, what Horatio's doing with the engine. I think they've got it made. I think if manufacturers started doing things like that, and because we're engaging in it, and I bet when they put a video out like that, and Chris has said, "I've designed this," I bet there'll be somebody watching who will say, "Actually, Chris, it should be like this," and then contact Revell because the information is there to contact them. I don't know. Has anyone else been enjoying the ride for this?
I think it's very good. I think what they're showing people is that they want to have a relationship with the end user in some manner, and they're saying, look, come and look at how we do this. We put a lot of care into this, and we think it matters enough to tell you about it.
Yeah,
it's not a childish way of doing things, Sorry, there's some noise outside. Someone's car alarm.
Is a butler moving the Jag, is he?
Yes. The Inquisitor is moving the Jag. Excuse me for a minute. I need to go and sort that out. I need to beat him with a stick. 1 second.
That blackguard runs in sometimes.
Even mine does it from time to time.
Yeah. I mean, I think scale model manufacturers are trying, or certain scale model manufacturers, they're trying to engage the audience. I think that's very, very difficult for them to do, just because of the nature of scale modeling. It's very, very difficult to keep a consumer engaged in a product. So the way they're doing it, they're trying it. Let's see if that's something that other manufacturers will mimic or do something very, very similar. I mean, to me, yeah, I'll buy it. I'm not that harsh, really, but I'm not an aviation modeler, so
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is. But I think they're trying different things, different strategies to engage the consumer more. And we live in a world now where there's lots of tools at their disposal with the likes of they can produce short videos really easy, websites, etc., more than it's ever been. So that may be the way it goes.
Yeah. I just think, you know, there is definitely a place in scale modeling where where you're designing something and you're focusing the consumer on that. But I would still miss the Telford special release. Do you know what I mean? If somebody come out with a kit at Telford, they didn't say nothing about, and there's this kit there that, oh wow, you know, I would miss that too. But I also think the engage, it's all at the end of the day, a business. We've seen it already. Business seem to strive on clicks, whether it's good or bad. They aim for a click. If you aim for a click, you go into the website. If you go into the website, at that point, you're giving them the shop window. So when the shop window, you click on the link. So then you make there's maybe a pre-order or something that's going to come out in the next 18 months. But you've gone to the website to look, and something takes your fancy whilst you're on the website, and you go, "Oh, I didn't know they did that, McLaren." In the basket it goes.
Yeah.
You know, so I think, you know, but yeah, I wouldn't want them to go down the route where they didn't, you know, secretly release release kits that have been kept under wraps.
So I don't know how profitable it would be, but I would rather any manufacturer, not just Raval, any manufacturer maybe produced 4 or 5 kits of that sort of quality per year than knocking out the same old shite.
Yeah.
I would rather they did that and charged more of a premium price for it, where you've been engaged along the whole process. Yeah. I would rather they did that than, you know, just keep knocking out stuff that isn't particularly engaging for the consumer. I would much rather see them go down that route. But that said, how profitable is that? Because we're a niche within a niche. I'm probably a niche within a niche within a niche. So actually, how profitable is it? Probably not that profitable, so they won't do it.
They have to release the tooling again and again and again. So that's because they don't make money on the first release, do they? They always make the money on the first release. It's to claw back some of the R&D on a particular kit, isn't it? And getting the tooling made.
Yeah.
How they've gone about it now is when they release a kit, they've probably also tooled up all the added extras to be released. It's like the Limber, isn't it? The Stalwart, you know. I think they shit a brick with that Limber because they realised that the 3D print guys were straight on that, weren't they? When they released the Stalwart, it was under 6 weeks before a bloody crane was available to be bought in a 3D print add-on, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've got one.
Yeah. So that was within weeks of them releasing that. But that doesn't mean that they can't release it with a plastic crane, and people would rather wait for that to happen.
I hope it's better than their Saracen. That is not a good kit.
Isn't it? You're struggling, are you, Luke?
Well, I'm not struggling, but when you compare it to the Ferret, for example,
yeah,
the way it's been designed, it makes no sense. I mean, you can do it. you know, it is what it is. But when you compare it to the standard of the Ferret and how, you know, how well engineered that was.
Yeah.
Okay, people go, oh, when the grill's wrong, I don't care. It was a well engineered kit for a vehicle that's actually quite a complex shape.
Yes.
The Ferret is quite a complex shape, but it was very well engineered. The Saracen, again, a little bit complex, the way that, you know, some of the panels are and stuff, shape wise. But the way they've designed it, and the instructions are not good at all.
Okay. I haven't started mine yet, and I don't think I will, but it's there in the box.
I mean, everything's there.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, because I'm opening it all up, so you can see, like, you've got a full interior and stuff.
Yeah.
But these panels, like, you have to build all the panels up individually, and unless you kind of really know what you're doing, the instructions aren't clear. So to try and get the angles right for the outer skin of the vehicle is problematic. They could have done that in a much simpler way for people. Yeah. Very similar to how they did with the Ferret. They could have done that.
Because if you actually go back through the videos I've done on that Ferret Scout, that was Ethan's very first project. And they thought, oh, a nice simple one for you was a Ferret Scout. Then they realized there's a lot of angle on the dangle of it, like, you know, and he really, you know, but what he came up with was fabulous. I found doing the, you know, there was a few fit issues for some people with the stalwart around the cab area, which I didn't really have, I don't think. Nigel found ways around it. Others have found ways around it. The bit that got me was the instructions weren't clear enough on the suspension, but once you know, basically you force it to fit, don't you, on the suspension. But the way the instructions are, they've got it like coming out a little bit. You've actually got to push it in and down. Nigel never glued his in until the last minute, where I had glued it all the way, and I regret that. You should have, when you get it all in, then glue the suspension together, if you know what I mean. That would have been the best way of doing it. But yeah, once I fiddled with it and I was, this ain't fitting, what's going on here? And then all of a sudden it like clicked. So, you know, yeah. As I said, I haven't started the Saracen yet. It is on my list to do. So if I got a BF 109 in 135th scale, not BF 109, BF 109 in 24th to finish, and I've got a P51D Mustang to build in 135th as well. So, but yeah. I've seen someone on YouTube build the Saracen, and it did not go well. Mainly the fit of the top half is what they're saying. So what they've done is they basically engineered the top half to fit the bottom half of the Stolly, innit? That's how it's worked.
Yeah, but the problem is, I mean, it's more than doable.
Yeah.
But I would think for most people that are going to buy that kit, it's a very complex way of doing it because of the angles of the Saracen. And if you don't get the angles spot on, because it's so, they're all separate panels. So if you don't get the angle of each panel absolutely spot on, then you're going to encounter problems later on. And I just think they could have either engineered the design in a better way or made the instructions much better to give people a bit of a heads up as to checking angles and that sort of stuff. Otherwise, people are going to encounter problems.
Nigel's asking, does it compare to the old lifeboat kit as a project? And it sounds like it does, because I've got that 7 class lifeboat, never built it.
Yeah, it's not quite that bad.
No. Well, the problem is that the instructions, if you built it top down, that 7 class, it all fits. But because you're building the hull up first, because the idea is that you either cut it, You can cut that 7 class hole if you want it to be on the water line. They give you instructions on how to cut it to the water line. But there are people I know that didn't do the hull. They went in and did the top half first, and then built the hull around it, and it worked better for them because you had that stability of the top putting it together. So yeah, be interested. Now you got me interested. I've got the Saracen up there. I might just pull it out and have a little go myself now. I've got so much to build, not enough time. So yeah. Go on then, Zinny. Now you're back because your Merc had a fart. Are you going to go on what you're saying? Or
it was the wife's Reliant Rialto. We put an alarm in it because we thought someone might steal in it, and it went off.
I got done for speeding in one of those, and I still got the 3 points on my license. I refused to have them taken off. Done for speeding in a Reliant.
Revell have taken the chance opening up their design process to their audience, but the positive response and engagement looked like it has been a success in pre-promotion. Well, that was one of the things that Luke said, was that they've gone along and designed this kit and everything, and then when they release it, half a dozen people come up and say, "Oh, that's wrong. Oh, that's wrong." At least now you've got the opportunity to iron out, and actually I know it's happened, people say, "Oh yeah, this is wrong on this kit," and then when they go and research afterwards, it's not, they're wrong. The people who are making up the thing is wrong. So there's that as well. But you know, it's a gamble. Qatari's done it before. I think they put the flag in the sand originally, wasn't it?
Yeah,
you know,
with the Halifax, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. But that was a little bit different because Revell only announced what they were doing after they've done all the research and they actually started to 3D print some of the parts. Where Qatari just went out there, put the flag in, and said, "We're going to do a Halifax with no CAD imagery, no test shots, nothing." You know, so I think that's a wise way to do it. Also, I think if you go out there straight away and put your flag in and say, "Oh, we're going to do a Halifax," Qatari, like boom, you're going to get other brands going, "Right, we're going to do one as well then, but we're going to get ours out before theirs." You know what I mean, or something like that. You know, that might be a good thing. Have a bit of competition in it. You know, so. As I said,
I think we've had this discussion briefly before, and I'm somewhat in favour of high quality model manufacturers putting a stick in the sand and saying, "This is what we're going to do, and we're going to do it this well." Now, in the case of Revell, they're kind of doing the same thing, but for a much more mass market audience. I think they're going to sell a good deal more of those kits that they're making. You know, they're building now the Harrier kits, simply for the expedient of telling people what they were doing. It actually doesn't matter that much if someone else came out with another kit and say, "Oh, do you know the Revell one? Well, we've got ours in first," because people won't buy that probably. In the same way, anybody who knows Qatari will, you know, they'll look at other kits that might not be as good and think, no, I'll spend my money on the Qatari one. You know, in the same way as Spitfires and all the other kits, and they're bloody good. They have a reputation behind them. Revell's latest reputation for some of their kits, like the Gloucester Meteor, for example, are really top bloody notch. I've not made one, but I know people who have, and they're top notch. They're absolutely up there. They're really, really good kits. So good for them for doing it. And as I say, it says to people, we want to have something to do with you. And you know, I think there have been people in the marketplace who have proved that model and proved that it does work. You know, and I think you know, more power to them, quite honestly, for being the benchmark of this. So good for them.
Fair play. Nigel, there's a question for you in the chat if you want to go and answer it. But he's also written, the people like me who have paid for the Halifax get irregular updates on what they are working on. I have commented on their design and received a detailed concise. Concise. I was going to say that. All right. It's not in Braille, is it?
It's easy for you to
concise
say.
reply. I was trying to put my teeth back in. Concise reply. Well, fair enough. If you're getting that, that's a good one as well. It's a positive move to plant the flag. Anyone who then releases before then, there could be an assumption that they've been rushed to beat the call out. Yeah, but all I'm saying is that is a good point. But you've got companies that have got a lot of resources, and I'm right in saying that Qatari haven't. They're a very small outfit. That's not a derogatory thing I'm saying. I'm just saying that's the state of play. They're a new company. They're building their foundations with these releases. But then if you've got a company out there that's got the manpower to go, it's like people say about Tamiya, they've only released two kits this year. Well, no, that if you actually see what that company's producing outside of the scale modeling realm, it's massive. Bandai Spirits, you can go on ScaleMates and look at what they've been releasing in the last 6 months. Big companies, we've got the resources to do it. But yeah, I fair play to Qatari. I'm tempted to get their is it BF? What is it? 109K? Is that the one they've done?
Yeah, I think that's the recent one, isn't it?
I saw that somebody had built one, and was it that? Yeah, it was that one. Was a BF 109 anyway, but it was a phenomenal looking animal. Of course, there was the Moan, no engine, but I think that debate's been done to death, hasn't it? Engine, no engine, when you get it and you pick up their instructions, open up the book and you start building away, tell me what experience do you get out of building that Qatari kit with an engine or without an engine? Probably get the same pleasure, even more pleasure than building it with an engine. It is. Ordering a GI Yaris and waiting nearly 2 years for it. Has it been 2 years now, Nigel, is it? The 109K is a lovely kit. Just about to start it soon as you can get and you can get an engine for it, which I also got because why not? Fair enough. Does anyone do a silver plate B29 out of the box? No idea. The engine did cost more than the kit, but who cares? That's 3D for you, isn't it? Oh, Brett's got one there, is he? Yeah.
It's a Qatari.
Do you know what, right? Let's give it a comment. Look at that box art. Seriously, look at that box art. That is, just the way you got the head there, innit? With the oxygen mask on. It's actually absolutely fantastic. That is what we want to see. That says a lot, doesn't it? That box art. I love that box art. It's fantastic.
It reeks of quality. It really does.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, definitely.
It's one of those things. I mean, I pick up I've got the Spitfire Mark 1 early. I haven't built it, and I probably won't for some years to come. But I pick it up and look at it every now and again because I think, this is how it should be done.
Yeah,
this is really very good. And that's what companies like Qatari do. They're unashamedly high end, and you pay a little bit of money for this, but quality and cost are related. There's no question about that. There's no denying it. And the people who say I don't much care for counterfeits are saying I want something that is good quality, and more power to them, I say.
Yeah, exactly. I just apparently I've just had an email.
I can comment on that as well, Susanna, and incorporate that comment made about the Galeri airbrushes. So airbrushes are a very personal thing. and some people will get on with one brand and not get on with another. But when you're comparing a £300-400 harder Steenbeck airbrush to a £100 Galeri, it's not the same thing. The harder and Steenbeck will have absolute precision engineering and everything else. The cheaper end of the market, it's not a surprise that the nozzles won't be exactly what they say, because these aren't precision engineered tools. Whereas the more you pay, the quality's there, and it will be precision engineered, and it's just the way it is. It's not really a surprise that the Galeri stuff isn't quite as accurate as perhaps Harder and Steenbeck or Iwata, or the more higher end manufacturers. It's not a massive surprise.
And the answer to all of this, for me anyway, is very simple, and you can apply it to more or less anything, and you can call it airbrushes or hi-fi or whatever it might be. You can compare you can compare a £100 airbrush and a £300 airbrush, and if you can tell the difference between the two as they work, then you now are in a position to be able to make the choice about which one you want. You make that value decision. But if you can't, my advice has always been
Go the cheaper one.
Buy the cheapest. And I used to say this to people about hi-fi systems. If you can't tell the difference between a £1,000 CD player and a £5,000 CD player, there's no point having the £5,000 one.
No,
the one.
None at all. None at all.
Really that simple. And as I say, it's the same with airbrushes. And yes, it absolutely is more well engineered. And engineering and design is about as much about what you can't see as what you can see. And that's just the way of things. Yeah. And if you pay too much for something, the reality is that all you lose is a little bit of money.
Yeah.
But if you don't pay enough for something, then you may have to end up paying a good deal more, and you may lose quite a lot as well. You could argue this point on the man who buys, aftermarket spares for his Spitfire, for example. He may end up losing quite a lot more than just the, because he bought cheaper stuff. Don't do it,
Speak to man of experience there, I think.
What's the expression?
I've not crashed a Spitfire from putting shit parts in it yet.
I think the expression is buy cheap, buy twice.
Yeah,
that's exactly that kind of thing. Yeah. But I mean, exactly. I use that.
I think knowing the difference or being able to tell the difference is an absolute valid point. If you can't tell the difference, then buy the cheap one, because the higher end stuff will be wasted on it. Because if you can't tell the difference, then it is what it is.
I'm going to just say I totally agree. I think I had a conversation with Modeling Weekly about 4 years ago now, and I was using the Iwata, the cheap one, the cheap Iwata brush.
Not the Eclipse.
Neo?
Not the
Eclipse. Neo.
Yeah,
it's not even made by them, is it?
I know. No, but I had it, and I remember talking to Modeling Weekly about it, and I was using it, and don't get me wrong, I was getting fair results. I didn't know any different, really. I had it about 4 years. It was an upgrade to the other stuff that I had anyway, because I was buying cheap anyway. And then I went all out and I bought the Harder and Steenbeck, the original, what I would call the basic model. Infinity. And then I went up, not the Infinity, it's Infinity Evolution and the one underneath that.
Ultra.
Ultra.
With the
And I thought, wow, this is a step up. Very much a step up. I didn't have to use a spanner to undo the nozzle. It was straight, you know. Then I bought the Evolution, and at the time, I didn't really feel a difference between the two. Okay. It was basically the same. So then I sold the Evolution at the time. I got this another Evolution. But I sold the Evolution and got the Infinity. And I've never looked back. I have never looked back. If I buy an airbrush now, I would buy an Infinity. I got the Evolution because I wanted one that had a 0.4 mil needle, so I could gloss and do all my varnishes with. That's why this one's here. But everything else, I use this. And even now, you know, I've got 3 of these Infinities now. I got one off you, Luke, as well, which is that funny designed one by that bloke, and it's badly designed for me. You know, my finger slips on it, but I've always gone back to the Infinity, even so much as that when I buy seals, if I need to ever replace seals, I've got 2 boxes, and the Infinity and the Evolution use the same PTFE seals. So I've the tool to take out the parts inside. It all works the same. I'm not have to buy different tools to strip it down or anything. It's all the same. I prefer the trigger on the Evolution because it's fatter than the one on there. But apparently you can swap them around. So, but yeah, I'm one of these. But when I pick up the only other brush that I've picked up and I've been really happy with using is that cheap Fenger, the 186. Is it the FE 186
K or something? Yeah, I've got
yeah.
one.
But for 30 quid, it's a good little tool. But if I want to really do pre-shading and panel lines and all this,
and I think
it's the Infinity.
what happened is, like you say, at first you couldn't really
tell the
difference, but as your experience of airbrushing grew, then you can start to tell the difference.
Yeah,
you know, it's if you're just putting paint on something, then pretty much one airbrush is very similar to another. But when you start to finesse what you're doing or try and finesse that's when you're going to notice the difference.
Yeah. But then again, I know a couple of people in our visions that rate the gallery over the Infinity, and I'm like, I can't see it. But they love him. They love their gallery, and so fair play. Again, it's personal. I still swear that there's a manufacturing inconsistency with them. And I said I've got one here that I've used a few times. It's called the Mobius 0.3, and I've shown it on video to people, and when I've shown them the problem I'm having with it, they then realise I've got that problem as well, actually. And if you've not watched this show before, I'll bang on about it again. When I spray, I'm off onto the paper. I pull back until I feel it bite and a little bit of paint comes out. I then push the needle forwards to stop the paint. Air still flowing, keeping the needle clean. All right, just saying. And then when I go back over to the model and pull back, the biting point has changed. I'm having to pull back even further. And I don't know why. But now I tell people that, they notice it as well. It's like being in a car and you find your clutch point, your biting point on your clutch, and you're going up that hill, and the next time you do it, the biting point's further up or further down. So you end up stalling. I don't know what it is.
What paint are you using?
Well, I'm using Mr. Color, I'm using Outlaw, and I'm using Tamiya LP.
So it happens on it happens on every single type of paint you're using.
Yeah, lacquers, yeah. But you tell me, but when I've talked to people and I said, look, when you get that Mobius or you get that gallery, just pull back off, you get your model. So you got your model, and all I do is I just spray off onto the paper to find the biting point, push it forwards. Then as I go about to go on it, I pull back. So I'm like, it's almost onto the model before I start spraying, I pull back, and the next thing I know, I'm pulling back even further to get the paint out.
Okay. When was the last time you cleaned your brush?
Well, this was fresh. This is on the gallery, by the way, so I don't really use the gallery often. But when I've got one for review, and I've been trialing it, it's a common thing. You know, you find that biting point, and then you push it forward slightly to stop the paint, and then when you pull back, you end up pulling back even further. So I'm always, because I try and spray off the model, then onto the model. That's what I'm trying to get at. It maybe I need to change my, but I do it the Infinity.
No. So, but the mechanics of what's happening is your needle's going down into the nozzle. You're coming back, and that's when you get paint flow. Is when that you create that orifice around that needle that sits in the nozzle. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, is there something blocking that? Is there something in your paint? Is there a reason why it's different for you after you do that?
I noticed it first because I've got 3 of these gallery jewels. They're called GHC 98. So I've got 2 of them. One says 0.5, one says 0.3 because I've got them set up. And it happens on these brushes as well. I can pull back, find the biting point, start spraying, loving it, go off, do something, then come back, and then push down, pull back, fighting points the same, brush right about there, pushing forwards. Then as I go on the model, I pull back, then I realise I'm halfway across the model because I've not pulled back far enough. It's like the biting point is changing. I don't know, but I've shared this with numerous people, and they don't notice it. But when I tell them this is an issue that I find, they go, I never had that. And then now I've mentioned it to them, they'll go and try it on their airbrush. And then you're right, Moz. There's sometimes a delay when it's like the biting points change. So, you know, and I don't know why. But
I've got 2 of the gallery premium Mobius 0.3s that I used with my metallics and my clears. That's the only things that go through these things. And to the person that was asking about the nozzle size earlier, I measured mine, and mine are both the same size. But I have never experienced what you're saying on mine. And so that's why I was asking: are you using different paints, or are you using acrylic? Because acrylics are notorious for airbrushing problems. You know, I'd have to see you do it to try to think. But I tell you what, I had a buddy of mine tell me a long time ago. He said 90+% of airbrush problems come down to cleanliness, and up to stripping the whole thing down every time you use it and making sure it's clean for the next time.
Yeah.
So, and another thing I do when I buy a new airbrush, I take the needle and some metal polish, and I polish the edge.
You've said that before. Because there'll probably be some sort of agent on it. You never know. But you know, I just put my hands up about it and say, look, you know, I never experienced this with an Infinity.
I mean, Gallery is a feng shui brand, whatever the Fengay or whatever. I mean, it's definitely one of the cheaper brands, and you get what you pay for. And yes, Infinity. And if you didn't know this, Harder and Steenbeck is owned by Iwata, but
it is now.
But there's definitely a difference. You're not going to run into those problems like with your higher end Iwatas or higher end anythings. But that's just, you get what you pay for. You might have that one, or a few people might have that experience because it is a cheaper end airbrush, you know, and you take your chances.
I totally get that.
I mean, $50. I got these on the Amazon special. And it's $100 airbrush. I got it for like $50. I'm like, well, all day long. Just to spray metallics and clears, you can't go wrong.
Exactly.
I think we all saw that deal that was going on Amazon at the time. I think a lot of people bought the Mobius. And don't get me wrong, it's probably the most used airbrush out there now for somebody who's starting with an airbrush, because you would go down the 20-30 pound route of a 50 quid, and that's why I think the Neo got cheaper, because you notice the Neo's now cheaper on Amazon, because that was £100 airbrush when I bought it. Now you're picking up for like 60 quid.
when the Neo was first released, it was retailing in the UK at $49.99, which at that price, it was a good airbrush. However, it then crept up and up and up and up till it was just over the £100 mark. Well, at that point, it's not a good airbrush for that money.
No.
Okay.
So now they've had to start bringing it down again.
Yeah.
Because it's at the wrong price point, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, the Neo, I threw my Neo away. I gave my last Gallery Jihad airbrush. I gave that thing away. But these so far, their Mobius has been fine.
Yeah. I just try it though. Just put your paint through, paint off there, find the biting point, push it forwards, and then as you move, pull the trigger back to where you think the paint was going to start, and you'll find that it'll be another 10th or 12th of a minute up the barrel. Like I don't know what it is.
You know what I think it is, and I might be talking absolute shite.
Well, you usually do so.
But, yeah, but I think because it's not a precision engineered tool, I think it's needle slip.
Could be.
Just by a very, minuscule amount. But when you're putting the pressure on the needle and the air's passing it, so when you first use it, you get your bite point, then the air's a constant. Then you go to do it again, and it's also, slightly different. And I think the needle slips within the brush.
Yeah, it could be that.
Which you would never get on, a more expensive, precision engineered Harder and Steenbeck or Iwata, or you wouldn't get that.
You're Infinity, aren't you, Luke?
No, my go-to is the Apex, which is a Badger airbrush. I've got various types, but I always pick the Apex up. I love that thing. But that's what I learned to airbrush on, so I think I'm in my comfort zone with it.
But you have got an Infinity, though, haven't you? You said you had an Infinity, didn't you? Yeah.
And I've got the Mobius as well.
And do you use the Mobius?
I've used it twice, I think, for the same reason.
Yeah.
I just tried it on my two galleries and nothing. I mean, it's on both of them. It's at the same point when you pull back, and you don't have to pull back very much, which is a feature I like. I don't like to pull, then get paint. I want paint right about the time I start pulling. And with these two, maybe I got lucky. I don't know, but everything seems to be okay.
Okay, mate. It is what it is. I'm just saying my experience of it, and I'm not doubting. I have seen it. Yeah.
But to Luke's point, you could have got two bad ones because they're not engineered all that great. No.
Yeah.
Friday afternoon airbrushes. That's the problem.
Yeah, I don't doubt that you're having the problem. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You've got.
Oh no, I wouldn't say. Well, this is it. It's like people say about Harder and Steenbeck are owned by Iwata. Yeah, but the airbrushes are still made in Germany. That's the factory. They may own it, and I think they know that they've got quality there. And until that time, if they move the production over to China, there'll be a lot of people who'll be like, So I don't think they will for a while. I think Harder's got that sorted. Just one more point. I've been sent an email from my good friends at a certain model shop. That apparently Amusing Hobbies PT91 Polish main battle tank in 1/33rd scale. It's one of the biggest kits in sales in Europe at the moment. So they definitely have got something going on.
Wow.
Amusing. Yeah. The big Amusing hobby kit this is a big Amusing hobby kit in Europe. And they may be possibly doing a lot more with it, with Amusing in the future. So it looks like they have got some sort of momentum at the moment. And like I said, I think I just hid from the fact any company that started with A wasn't on my radar, and now it is. So one last point, Barry. what a great model show your club hosted on Sunday. Again, it's a great show up there. We're very, very, very welcome. What you're doing with the getting people into the hobby is phenomenal. You know, Sarah showed me all around those A to Z model kits, perfect for a starter. And as I was there, I saw a lot of children and adults as well walking around with their painted models. So I think it's I'm
still working on the video.
Yeah. So hopefully when you get a video out, I'll share it on my feed anyway on YouTube.
Yeah, I've had a bit of a hiccup with it. All the tracking shots of the models, I got severe jello vision. So I'm going to do screen grab, put it back in the editing suite and use the sound from the video. So all the model shots are a slideshow.
Okay, that'd be good. That's all right. But let me know when you do it and I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Great show. Really good.
I've also did something a bit cheeky. I've posted a notice and spot the Moz. I managed to sneak you in.
Oh, right. Okay. Definitely. Yeah, I'll be there.
You have to watch the video and you have to spot the Moz.
And what do they win?
Where's Waldo?
Oh, there's no prizes. I don't even think you will spot yourself, Moz.
Oh, right. I did quite run away from you a few times.
Yeah, well, like I say, no comment for legal reasons.
No comment for legal reasons. And also, again, I went to Tamiya Day at Jadlam. If you're down in the southwest or, around Bristol way, always worth it to come pop down there. They had the Hobbyco guys turned up and they gave me a Tamiya sticker to go on my my wall now, on my door. So it's filling up. I've got a Hella sticker now, Revell, Armour Hobby, Tamiya. I need an amusing hobby one to go up there now. And I've also got Bearded Veterans. I need a big one for Black Rifle when you got one there, Luke, a bigger one so it can be seen on the screen. But yeah, one other thing I want to say, I got sent this stuff from Ultimate Modeling Products. It's becoming my go-to thinners for acrylics now. I'm absolutely loving this. I was supposed to be doing a review on it, but because of everything that's happened, I've not got around to doing it. But I've been spraying and messing about with this stuff with acrylics from Humbrol, from Hella, Vallejo, and not Model Air, just the normal model color. I am absolutely blown away with this stuff. The only thing I haven't used it on is lacquers. I don't think you can use it for lacquers on this.
No, it's an acrylic thinner.
It's an acrylic one, but this is my go-to now for anyone. So go on their website, buy yourself a bottle. It's called the Gold Acrylic Gold Air and Brush thinner. It is absolutely fantastic.
The cleaner's very good as well.
Yeah, I've got the cleaner here and I've used it. I did a video, but I've not edited it yet, of me doing a strip down of my airbrushes. But yeah, if I just want a big call out to him because I am absolutely blown away with this stuff. Because I've not even used half of it. Like, I've just used a little bit of it. It is so good. 50-50. It comes with a chart. What have I done with that chart? Gives you what, but I just did it 50-50 because I'm just lazy. And it's spraying Hella paints, Revell paints, all the acrylic stuff, not enamels, but just the acrylic. That's recommended by me. Okay, take that for a screenshot. Thank you, Luke. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Joffy. Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Brett. Thank you, John Alec, and thank you, Zinzan, for joining us. Thank you to everyone in the chat as well. I see some of the comments. I will try and quickly respond to them. But anyway, thanks all for joining me again on Scale Model and Chill. And we'll see you again next Monday. Take care all and good night.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.